Welcome to this very special Ask Me Anything episode of the KJ Masterclass, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts either through their industry insights and information or simply learning from them. This is the last part of the special series called the $35 trillion opportunity in the USA. That's the greatest wealth transfer in history in the USA. Let's go to the man who is watching this space as closely as possible to profit those who would want to profit from him and ask him all the questions we have on this. We are joined by David Walters, founder and CEO of Steam Powered Consulting. Welcome to the show, David.
AJ, thanks again. It's a pleasure to be back.
This particular topic about the $35 trillion opportunity in the USA, there are certain questions that we have got from our viewers, from industries and different sectors. So, David, the first question we have got is from Ken Siegel. And let's go to Ken Siegel himself and ask him his question to you.
How long will it take me to sell my business?
Okay, Ken, that's a good question. And the situation there is it really depends on what you want to get out of it. So selling the business is a complex process, and it depends on the current state of your business going into the sales cycle, and also what is the value you want to get. So if your business already had decent accounts and you had your systems set and you were just looking for a quick exit, we typically say it takes about 6 months to go through the sales process. But that's without doing any real optimization. So you would get a multiplier of your current annual profit margin, and depending on the overall volume and depending on what the marketplace was looking at, you could get anywhere between a 1 and 4x on your current profit margin. Now, if you wanted to go for a higher value exit, so this would be where you're going to spend some time cleaning the business up and making it look more attractive to a potential buyer. That would take you maybe a year of work to get everything cleaned up and ready to present. But you could see an improvement in the value of the business on the back end, so maybe a 10x improvement. And then if you decided to go all the way with the M&A process and actually do a roll up and look at packaging the business ready for a private equity buyout, that could take 3 or 4 years. It really depends on what is your desired payout at the end of the process, and what is your tolerance for continuing to work with the business. So as short as 6 months, as long as 4 years, but it really depends on what is your objective.
Okay, David, well explained. Now coming to our second question, also from the US, it's James who's asking his question. Let's hear him out.
Okay.
You talked about the 4 levels of exit. Can you explain these a little bit more? Thank you.
So that's James there, David. If you can talk about the 4 levels of exit.
Sure, absolutely. So the 4 levels really, it relates to how long you want to spend and how much you want to get out of your business. So what we call the level 0 exit is the default, and regrettably, it's the exit that over 98% of business owners face, which is the fireside sale. So that they take no real value from their business. And that's obviously what we want to avoid. We want to help business owners get the value out of their business after they've put all that work in for so many years. The level 1 exit is basically achieving what we call scalability. If you remember in one of the previous presentations, we talked about achieving scalability, which is when we have a predictable growth engine and we have business operating systems. That's the minimum that you need in place to be able to present yourself to the marketplace. That can be done in around about 6 months, and that could give you a 3 to 4x increase in the business exit value. The level 2 exit is where we talk about internal optimization. So this would be going from the point of scalability to then looking at all the things you can do internally to optimize the business value. So we'd be looking at going through a deliberate growth strategy, the aim being to 2x the revenue in the business. We would look at profit maximization. We would look at cost reduction. We would look at streamlining. All of the things that we can do internal to the business to maximize the value is what we would cover under what we call the level 2 exit. And typically, that would be 12 to 18 months of work on the part of the owner. And then you obviously you have the final sale process, which we suggest is about 6 months. So if you think a level 2 exit is about 2 years from the point of making the decision, but it can give you, we showed in one of the previous presentations, if you go through that whole level 2 internal optimization process, you could achieve 997% increase in the business value. So that's the level 2. And then the third level, the level 3, is where you're going to be very aggressive. You're looking at really growing the business, and you're looking at a highly profitable payout. So you're looking at getting your revenue above $10 million. You're looking at getting your EBITDA above 20%, and you're then going for a private equity type deal. So that's, you're making some big decisions at that point. You are buying other companies, you're doing a roll up, and then you're repackaging it for a resale. So again, that's really as long as a piece of string. How many M&A deals do you want to do? What's your strategic financial goal that you want to take? And how much tolerance do you have for all that extra effort? So most businesses that we deal with, the level 2 is the right fit for them. They want to get out within a couple of years. They want to maximize the value of their business, but they don't really have a desire to get into the M&A space. So normally we would say with our clients, 12 to 24 months to achieve a sensible level 2 exit, and that's the sweet spot for most small businesses.
Now over to our next question, Susan S from the US, and she wants to understand if there are any guarantees that you can give. So let's hear her out.
That's a lot of great information. What kind of guarantees can you give?
That's a very good question, Susan. And as with all these things, the guarantees, what we can do is we can guarantee that we will give you the processes and the support and the information you need to prepare your business for sale. Obviously, the ultimate value depends on what the marketplace feels your business is worth. So we can't guarantee an absolute value, but we can tell you from history, what we've seen this year, 2022, the valuations have increased by 53% compared to the numbers in 2021. So it's definitely a seller's market. The value is, but in order for this to be successful, you as the business owner have to fulfill your commitment. So our guarantee to our clients is we will be with you as long as it takes, with as much help as you need to get your exit complete. But you've actually it's your business. You've got to do the work on your business to complete that process. So, we will always work with people who want to work and who want to be successful. But if the business owner decides that, they don't want to go through the process, then obviously we can't make people change. It's, we can be there to help them, but the business owner has got to make that decision that they're going to go for that high value exit.
Right. And then, David, we have got Mary Helen L. She has a question.
Okay.
Merger and acquisitions, but what about if we want to just really fast track and exit our company? I feel it's too much energy, and I'd like to hear you on that, please. Thanks.
Okay. That's a good question, and it ties into what we've been talking about before. So the M&A route is the end of the process. That's the level 3 exit. And that's really for a business owner that wants to have a sort of an aggressive run at preparing his business for maximum value. And as we showed, when you get into the M&A space, there is really no limit as to how much additional value you can add into the business sale. It just depends what is your tolerance for the M&As, how much do you want to do that? I mean, one of the protocols we have is buying a business with no cash out of pocket. But this is a much longer play, and you're looking at potentially from where a business is at the beginning of the journey to the value that you could see at the end of the journey, you could be 20x the initial valuation, but you are going to be taking some big decisions. You're going to be, buying other businesses. You're going to be folding them into your portfolio. So again, we find the sweet spot for most of the business owners that we work with. They want to maximize their value on what they can control internally. So that's what we call the level 2 exit, where we do the internal optimization. And typically that can give them a 10x improvement in business valuation. We can get that done within sort of 18, 24 months. And most business owners feel much more comfortable working over their own business rather than, stepping into the M&A space where, they need a lot more support. There's much more financial demand. There's potentially more risk. So, if the owner is aggressive and not averse to the big risks, then obviously that's a play they can make. But as I say, for the vast majority of our clients, the level 2 exit, 10x the value in 18 to 24 months is really the sweet spot for most people.
Great, great. Now, the last question from your part of the world, David, is Taylor Ray. She wants to know about business exit.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I had a few questions. First of all, I've never done a business exit before, and I was wondering how the process works to get started, how I'd go about finding help or learning about it. And I was also wondering about some of the specifics about the process, like how easy is it, how difficult, and what does it entail?
Okay, and that again is a good question. The process can be. The process is simple, but it's not necessarily easy. There are demands on the business owner. And this is why, part of what we do to help the business owner understand what they want to achieve is that discovery call. So we'll sit down with the owner, we'll find out where they're at, what their current estimated value is. Often that value is much less than they think it's worth, because obviously the business owners put 10 or 20 years of their life into the business. So they have a lot of emotional investment. And unfortunately, the marketplace doesn't care. The marketplace only cares about what is your business going to be worth in the game of bringing in extra revenue for whoever's the buyer. So one of the first things we do is have to calibrate the business owner. This is the reality of how much your business is worth today. And if they say, well, that's not enough, I needed to sell it to fund my retirement or to fund another project, then we can say, okay, so you now have the level 1, the level 2, the level 3 option. These are the sort of things we can do. This is the sort of revenue you could get. This is how long it would take you to get there. But you then have to make a decision as the business owner. What is your appetite for an extended exit versus a fast, lower payout? So again, that's a swings and roundabout decision. Some business owners may just want a quick exit. They may have changes in their family situation. They may have a spouse with health issues. They may just be feeling burnt out. They just want to exit for whatever value they can take. Other business owners said, yeah, I'm quite happy with a 3 or 4 year project, and I want to take the maximum value out of this in full. So it depends on the business owner. It depends on their personal circumstances, and it depends on what their desire and expectations are in what they want to take away from the exit.
Okay, David. So quite a number of questions from the US, from your part of the world. Now coming to India, we have a question from Pransu Sikka. He is the CEO of The Pivotals. It's a stakeholder management firm which takes care of big companies and also does a lot of investment in their own space, that's on the digital space. So they want to understand what are the opportunities in the digital and internet space and how they can make use of that.
Hi, David. Can you tell us about the opportunities in the digital space in the United States?
Okay. Well, the first very obvious opportunity is labor arbitrage. So we are seeing in the digital space a lot of consolidation. And what we're tending to see is, especially within the digital agencies, the back end, the fulfillment is being consolidated in offshore businesses. There's one person I know who has a team of, I think, a couple of hundred digital marketers, and they're based down in Nicaragua, and they're actually building a custom-built campus down there. And what they're doing is they're partnering with existing agencies. The US-based agency continues to do the sales and the customer-facing business, and then all of the fulfillment is offshored to the partner. And that's, for an Indian company, that's a very clever business model, because you can immediately benefit from labor arbitrage, but you don't need to put a lot of investment into setting up your own office in the US. So So I would say if you're in the digital space and you can immediately get that offshore, the fulfillment, whether you're looking at software development, app development, digital marketing, those are all places where partnering with an existing agency and doing a deal so that you can offer the fulfillment is a very quick way to come up with a profitable relationship.
Right, David. Right. We have got another question from India, and this time it's Shweta Patra. She's the founder of Ethnics Land, and it's a online clothing store. It's into the online clothing store business, and maybe it's looking at some funding very soon and wants to expand in that part of the world. Let's hear her out what she has to say.
Hi David, can you please tell us, for a person who is into small clothing business space, can look at an opportunity in USA? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there is no reason why somebody like that would not be able to break into the US market. Obviously, it's a boutique product. You know, she looks like she's got an e-commerce capability. So
Yes.
the real thing there, I would suggest, especially if she's got something which is bespoke or a nice niche that she can identify, would be to create her brand presence. If she's very artistic in her product, Etsy would be a good place to build awareness. But yeah, once she's into the e-commerce, then it's really not a problem. She can, she just has to get her storefront in front of the US consumers, and obviously make sure that her logistics would support that sort of timeline. So, consumer demand, consumers have been spoiled by Amazon, the same day or the next day delivery. So
Right.
if she was doing a bespoke or a boutique type product, and she could create a following, she could create a niche following, she could get some forgiveness from her audience, from her clients, for longer delivery times. But the biggest thing with that would be, in my mind, making sure her logistics supports the expectations of the US consumer. Getting front of mind, getting presence, getting a shop front visible in the US is not a big, but her biggest issue would be the expectation of high speed logistics. That would be something she'd have to think through.
Okay. Okay, David. Well answered. All these questions, both from India as well as the US. And I think out of all these 5 to 7 questions together, you have covered the subject altogether that we have been talking about in the 4 episodes earlier. And this is the sum of all those episodes together. So at the end, what would you like to tell the business owners who are looking at, damage to their business if they don't look at optimizing their business and taking a call on their business? What do you want to tell them through this particular program, this particular episode, as well as people who are looking at deals, opportunities, not only in India, but also across the world?
So the first thing is, as I said, my mission is to help small business owners actually get value from their exit. It's a tragedy that so many owners are, 98% of business owners face a zero value exit. So I'm more than happy to have a quick call with any business owner that's interested in finding out how they can maximize the value of their exit. We can connect. I think you've provided my email and my LinkedIn connection. So, more than happy to set up a call with any business owner that's interested in how they could manage the exit for a high payout. And then the other thing is, we also have processes how we can help people do a no cash out of pocket. So depending on the strategy, if it's an existing owner who's just looking for an exit, a quick chat with me and I can give them some pointers on what they need to be thinking about. If somebody is looking, especially if we have entrepreneurs in India, as I said, it's currently a seller's market. We're seeing high value, but if the Indian entrepreneur has the desire to do a roll up and create a consortium and then repackage that for a private equity buyout, there's huge opportunities there. Now, obviously, that's a longer term play and there's a bit more risk there. But while it's a seller's market, and I think it is going to continue to be a seller's market for some time to come. So, and the brokers I speak to are all saying that they just can't find enough quality businesses for sale. So for those business owners who are thinking about a sale, hop on a call with me. I'll show you what you need to do to be able to present yourself in the best light to a broker or to a potential buyer. And for the Indian entrepreneur that's looking for the bigger roll up, we can always schedule a call and we can talk some strategic options about how they could do that rollout to establish a presence in the US.
Great. Now, to ask you a question, which I ask at the end of my show, but that is for the ease of everybody, is that how can people connect with you? How can they contact you and take your help or services?
Okay, so my LinkedIn profile, you can find me on LinkedIn. I think it's David James Walters. And then obviously my email, I always respond to emails. So that's david@steampoweredconsulting.com. More than happy for people to reach out directly, and we can hop on a call and see how we can help.
With this, it's a wrap on this edition of the KJ Masterclass. Thank you so much indeed.
Thanks, AJ.